Good day, everyone. My name is Councillor Paul Follows, and I'm the leader of Waverley Borough Council and the leader of the opposition at Surrey County Council. You will no doubt be aware that the elections that were scheduled for the 1st of May 2025 to Surrey County Council have been cancelled. They've been cancelled because the Conservative-led County Council put in a letter at the beginning of January asking for them to be cancelled, and the government has agreed. The government issued a white paper at the end of December calling for wide-scale and rapid reorganisation of local government and asked any county councils who thought they had a plan and were ready to move forward with that reorganisation to submit a request regarding their elections. Now, the county council do not have a plan. They put in that request anyway, with staunch opposition from across the county, from people like me, but also across the political spectrum. But they did so anyway. Only Conservatives across the county at all levels have been supporting this, and certainly I have given the opportunity for Conservatives in Waverley and Godalming, and of course Jeremy Hunt and Greg Stafford, to oppose their county colleagues in this action. They have chosen to support them and have therefore supported the decision to cancel these elections. Now, I think it's fundamentally wrong and undemocratic for you to be denied your say at any point, but particularly when these elections would have been your first time to raise your concerns and to go on record about things like highways, adult social care, children's services and SEND, to name but a few. I'm also concerned, and I speak as somebody who is broadly in favour of local government reorganisation, I'm concerned about the pace. I actually think it's fundamentally impossible to do this in a year. And even if it were possible, I also think it's dangerous. Trying to reorganise massive local government services across the whole county in 1 year, considering they do include things like adult social care and children's services, I think is a great risk. These services have to be run while these reorganisation is going on, and they have to be restructured. I think that we have serious risk of harm to vulnerable people if this is pursued at the pace the government want to take it at. I am also concerned that without resolution of some of the fundamentals, all we will be doing is creating new councils that have got the same issues they have now on a larger scale. There has been no discussion about reforms to local government funding, which of course has been cut for the last 14 years. There are no discussions about council tax bans or reform or evaluation of how that system works, which is already fundamentally inequitable and also insufficient to fund services. There has been no discussion about business rates or other revenue that councils across the board receive. Now, the issue that I also have is that there is debt in this county, 5.5 something billion of debt in this county. Now, that's spread out between the county council, boroughs and districts. Of course, famously, Woking holds about 2 billion of that debt. Now, not all the debt across the county is bad, but certainly at least half of it is likely to be considered bad. Now, the government have said nothing about how we're going to deal with this, nothing at all. And I think it's fundamentally unfair as a concept that residents from boroughs who did not incur that debt be in any way forced to take on that burden or to have their services impacted by that burden. Now, as the government have said nothing on any of these funding matters, it is very difficult for councils to really plan about their future. Now, these discussions have been taking place already for the last few weeks. On a Friday, the district and borough leaders, plus the leader of the county council, were meeting to discuss the white paper and its ramifications, and we meet again tomorrow. I will be, as the leader of Waverley, in office till 2027, even though there are no county council elections. Local elections for boroughs and town councils occurred in 2023, and so we are in office in that regard until 2027. So I will be representing Waverley in the discussions between the other leaders and the county. I will make it my mission to oppose any reapportionment of the debt that burdens you as Waverley residents. We have worked incredibly hard since 2019, my colleagues and I, with our finance staff, to make Waverley one of the most financially stable and sustainable councils in this country. We are one of the very few councils that have up-to-date accounts that have been fully audited and have been given a clean bill of health. We are one of the very few councils in the UK that can demonstrate a functionable and stable budget for not just this year, but next. I am extremely worried that attachments and new unitary authorities done in this way will burden Waverley residents in a way I consider unacceptable. We've worked very closely with Guildford over the last year to improve our councils for both our sakes. Both those councils are now far more stable than they were alone. But this sort of forced reorganisation at pace does give me significant concerns. Now, We will, of course, continue to fight the best we can at Surrey County Council. I believe that all councillors will lose their mandate from the 1st of May when elections, of course, have not taken place. But at Waverley and elsewhere, we will continue to make sure that we are standing up for you as residents. We will try and make sure that the successor authorities here, the new unitary councils and any strategic mayoral authority that comes next, works the best it can for Waverley residents. And I will also make sure that I, as far as I can, try and ensure that towns and parishes have the proper powers and resources to be the best they can at locally representing your views within these new local government areas. I think they're fundamental to the future of what's next. I also will make sure that I report back as regularly as possible to councillors and to residents about the progress of these negotiations and what's coming next. I urge you to express your discontent to your local Conservatives across the board at their willingness to go along with cancelling elections and to put that request in the first place. But right now, I have a duty to make sure that what comes next works as best for you, the residents of Waverley, as I possibly can. Thank you very much for listening.